Hi, I'm Don Rule with the Savage Street Church of Christ in Grants Pass, Oregon. And I think right now in March 2020, with the COVID-19 crisis that's going on in the world, I was going to say in America, but really the whole world, right? There's a lot of fear, anxiety, and depression. And if you do nothing but watch the TV, I can see why. It's scary. But there's a passage of scripture I want you to think about that I believe all of you, even those of you who are not churchgoers, you don't read the Bible or anything like that, I believe you're familiar with this passage. There are some passages that probably everyone knows to one degree or another. Some of you might know John 3:16. Even, again, you have no spiritual connection or whatever. You'll know it just from that guy who used to be on, what was it, Monday Night Football games, where at one end of the stadium he would be holding up the John 3:16 sign with the colored hair. So you know John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, and so forth. You probably might also be familiar with the scripture reference Genesis 1:1, which says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So you probably know either the reference, Genesis 1:1, or you know what it says. I suppose there might be another teaching that you're familiar with. That's the Ten Commandments. You probably have heard what some of them are. You may not know the reference. The first time that they appear in the Bible is in Exodus chapter 20. And so I just think there's some basic passages, basic teachings from the Bible that everyone knows. And one of those is the passage I want to give you today. I don't hear anyone referring to this passage right now. I'm not saying it's not happening. I just haven't seen it on the internet or on Facebook or anywhere else. But this is a passage that many people have memorized. And again, even if you are not a churchgoer, you don't like to hear preaching, you don't read the Bible or whatever, there's a certain event that you have gone to where this Bible passage was used or you saw its reference. Some kids learn to memorize this passage. Some people have it as a plaque or a picture or something in their house with decorations on it and with an image on it of the main character in this passage. So what is that passage? I'm guessing that as I start to read it, the first, second, third word, many of you are already going to know what I'm talking about based upon the introduction that I've given to it. And by the time I get done with the first line, probably everyone in America is going to be familiar with this passage. I know there's going to be an exception here and there to that, but I'm just speaking in a general way of the population. So what is this passage? And this passage, my friends, says something that is so crucial right now that we all need to hear. We've heard it a lot. We've read it. Some of you have memorized it. But I wonder if we have forgotten it because so many people are filled with fear. And we don't have to be. Listen to this. Psalm. Well, I'm not going to give you the number yet. Here we go. The Lord is my shepherd. Now, how far did I have to go before you knew what I was talking about? Of course, I introduced it with Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want, or that means I shall not be in lack, or I shall not lack. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So I would encourage you, my friends, to read that passage by yourself and read it like you've never read it before. Now in this atmosphere of fear, now in this valley of the shadow of death, here's a perfect time to read this passage and to read it. I would encourage you to read it slowly and think upon each line and what it's telling you. And then ask yourself, has this just always been a beautiful poem to quote? Or do I really believe it? Do I live by this? I want to assure you, my friends, that even as every need of yours has been supplied and is being supplied, so shall it be supplied in the future. So don't fear. Live by faith, and you shall do well. So the important thing, though, now is that you are a follower of the Lord, that you're one of his sheep. That's what you need to think about. Am I a trusting sheep of my Lord, the shepherd? Goodbye.